Meggy, one of the most recognizable characters in SMG4, but who is Meggy? Well, she first debuted in If Mario Was in Splatoon. Back then, I guess you could say she was a very determined and hardworking inkling that wanted to win Splatfest. Meggy is a character that I have a very long history with, I guess you could say. I think she was probably better when she was an inkling, and there was a time where I started disliking her, and you'll understand why when I get into it. Meggy has a very long and convoluted road as a character. She has like more development than most of the characters in SMG4, which is kinda sad but really interesting. I'm not gonna get into all the history of Meggy's character, but I am gonna get into like some of it. So Meggy got herself her own rival, Desti, and the anime arc eventually happened. This was around the time when she started training, and she started becoming a more prominent character in the series. I guess you could say a main character. But just cutting to the chase, Meggy became a human, which was just kinda odd. I don't know how inklings become humans. Like, I'm pretty sure if they got their ink sucked out of them, they would have died, or like something tragic would have happened to them, but she's just a human. So after Desti's death, Meggy gets PTSD, which is kinda understandable, but to be honest, like, Desti was kind of a jerk to her, so, like, they're at a funeral, so it's understandable to be sad, but I don't think Meggy and Desti had this super deep connection to each other. I can understand Meggy respecting her, but they never became, like, close buddies to each other, so it's, like, understandable, but I'm just saying they didn't have this super deep bond together. I feel like it would have made more sense to just have her right after that episode just be depressed over it, a little bummed out, instead of, like, hunting her friends down after that. Around after the anime arc, her character kind of lost any of the aspects she used to have to her. She became, I guess you could say, more scared. She didn't really fight. We never got to see her train for Splatfest, except for, like, her own movie. After basically winning Splatfest, her character didn't really do all that much. She basically just achieved her goal in this one Splatfest. So where do you think Meggy would go next as a character after all of that? They gave Meggy a house, but they've completely forgotten about this. And don't worry, this happens pretty often with Meggy's character. They set up something and then forget about it. I would say this was around the time when I started just disliking her character. And, well, I'd have to say the episode, the food fight one, is a good example of this. For some reason, Meggy has a complete breakdown over sharing space on a table and decides to attack Mario with a chainsaw. And I guess it's kinda justifiable because Mario could be a jerk sometimes, but this became, like, pretty common and kind of annoying. Now, as of recently, this stopped being less common, which is honestly nice, but you start to wonder, why are these two even friends to begin with? So anyways, Meggy had no clue what to do with her life and decided, alright, I gotta go on vacation. There was an episode where she was a police officer for a little bit, but then they just threw that out the window. So then she went on vacation and got her own series, which could be the reason of why she has a human form now. I'm not gonna go super deeply into Sunset Paradise. Meggy is a little unlikable in that series, but isn't like too unbearable. I should bring up that they did give her a voice, and once she came back, she started like going to college for like sports coach stuff, which they've instantly forgotten about as of recently. I do remember that she was a lawyer in the lawsuit arc, but they instantly forgot about this. And then there was an episode where she was working for Bob. But they mentioned something that I feel like they should have explored in the series, and something that I find interesting. Meggy has anger issues, and they just joke about it and never come back to this element ever again. Like, why does Meggy have anger issues? I kinda wanna know. Now we make it to current day where Meggy's character has been reduced to nothing, and recently they added something to her, Leggy. I hate Leggy. It pretty much just degrades a character that's been through a lot, honestly. I guess the only interesting thing to come out of this is Meggy seeing some good in Mr. Puzzles, which is like interesting, I can say honestly, but I'm not really sure how to feel about it. Maybe it'll explore it some more, but gonna be honest, I don't think I'm gonna hold my breath for it because it's SMG4. They usually like to drop a lot of stuff that's been developed. I feel like Meggy has already finished her character arc, and at this point, she probably should have left the series a long time ago. She kinda reminds me of Brian from Family Guy. Both characters just kind of exist and should have left a long time ago. I still feel like you can do things with her character, like she has parents, she wanted to go to the Olympics I think. Like, why not explore this stuff? Maybe it'll build her like an area in the showground where she can like train people as a sports coach, but let me be honest, I don't know if they're even gonna do anything with this, so if Meggy died, I wouldn't be sad over it. I know a lot of other people would be because she's like a fan favorite character, so I don't see her disappearing anytime soon. So that's the character of Meggy for ya, and I'll see you guys next time and bye.